The show is set to end this year, but there's been some pushback on that, most notably from Selleck himself.
Blue Bloods ran for 14 music seasons and won Friday nights every single week. But behind the cameras, the truth was messier than anything the Reagans faced on screen. The Snorts pilot was ranked dead last at CBS. The original creators were fired after season 1. Snorts, one actress collapsed on set twice before the network put her on unpaid leave. Tom Selleck threatened to walk multiple times. And when the show finally ended, nobody, Snorts, could explain why CBS canceled their biggest hit. I will, music, continue to think that CBS will come to their senses. We're the third highest scripted show in all of music broadcast. What really happened behind America's favorite cop drama? The answers will surprise you. The story of Blue Bloods almost slipped away before it ever reached a single screen. It, Snorts, began with Mitchell Burgess, music, and Robin Green, a husband and wife team who had already shaped the world of The Sopranos. When they, Snorts, worked on that mob story, they dug deep into a family that lived outside the law. So when they imagined a new show, they turned the idea around and walked toward the lawful side. Snorts, they wanted a big family again, one tied together by duty and tradition. They, Snorts, talked about rediscovering the hero, and they believed this new story could do that. Still, even with that vision in place, the music show struggled. Leonard Goldberg changed everything. His reputation at CBS carried weight, and without him, the project might have stayed buried in the pile of pilots ranked at the very bottom. Industry reports, music even listed it as pilot number 10 of 10. Yet the pilot tested incredibly well, and Goldberg used that moment to push Itanto the network schedule. He also laid down 2 rules that shaped the entire series. Each episode had to solve its case before the hour ended. And no matter how messy the week became, the Reagan family would always sit down for Sunday dinner. Before any of this settled, though, CBS tried to promote the show as something coming from the executive producers of The Sopranos. That move set off legal noise from HBO. Lawyers stepped in, writers voiced objections, and CBS quietly removed the wording so the show could move forward without more trouble. As Snorts production began, the pilot found another twist. Director Michael Kwa shot part of it in Toronto to save money, and CBS kept that detail quiet until a special aired many years later. When Tom Selleck heard about it, he pushed back hard because he believed a story set in New York needed to breathe New York air. After that moment, every episode shot on real streets across all 5 boroughs with almost 200 people and about 20 trucks working through music each location day. Casting held its own surprises and changes. Flex Alexander played Danny Reagan's partner in the pilot, but research showed a female partner would connect better with viewers, so he was replaced. He knew it wasn't about his talent, but the shift still hit him. Then there was Marlene Lost, who played Nikki Reagan in the pilot before leaving the industry entirely and focusing on neuroscience at University of Oxford. Sammy Gale stepped in for the version of Nikki the audience grew up with. At the same time, Donnie Wahlberg encouraged Bridget Mohan to join the cast, music, since they had already worked together on a 2008 project that never made it to air. But with the cast coming together, tension rose behind the scenes. Showrunner Ken Sanzel, who once served as an NYPD officer, clashed with Selleck over the direction of the show. Selleck pushed for deeper family drama, Sanzel wanted a clearer procedural rhythm. Scripts kept returning with notes and the disagreement grew until Sanzel was removed in 2010. The conflicts didn't stop there. After season 1, CBS let the creators themselves go. Burgess, Snorts, and Green stepped away from the show they had built, and Kevin Wade, who had joined early on, took over. He guided the series for 13 more seasons, music, and delivered 282 episodes, creating one of the longest showrunner runs in television history. During all those years, Selleck stood at the center of the story, both on screen and off. When the show, Snorts, premiered, he was 65, and when it ended, he was 79. His salary grew to, Snorts and music, about $200,000 per episode at its peak, landing him near $56 million across the full run before residuals. Even with that, he spoke about the real cost of maintaining his large ranch and worried that without steady work, he might lose it. People inside CBS didn't quite believe he was as close to losing it as he claimed. But his concerns still echoed through interviews. His co-stars earned less, sometimes far less. Wahlberg started around $60,000 per episode and rose to roughly $150,000. Mohan reached about $100,000 when the final season approached, budgets tightened and everyone agreed to a 25% pay cut to keep hundreds of crew members employed. Selleck dropped to around $150,000 per episode. Wahlberg to about $12,500, music, and Mohan to roughly $75,000. A small but famous piece of Selleck's identity also found its way into the story. Producers once asked if, music, he might shave the mustache. He even looked up whether an NYPD commissioner could have one. When Goldberg raised the idea with CBS, the network told him no, the mustache stayed. It later gained its own following, even a Facebook page with more than 27,000 people watching its legacy grow. Selleck worked through physical challenges as well. He had a hip, music, replacement around 2013 or 2014, and he used labor on his ranch as music therapy. Reports in 2023 suggested his arthritis was so bad that he needed a double for simple scenes, but his representative denied it and said he remained fit. In 2024, he was seen with what looked like knee surgery scars, yet he still showed up every day with strong focus. Wahlberg often talked about Selleck staying late in post-production or working on scripts before anyone else saw them. Mohan, snorts, said he always gave everything he had, whether he was talking to another lead or a guest actor with only a few lines. Wahlberg, snorts, carried his own balancing act. Through all the seasons, he continued performing with New Kids on the Block, which had reunited in 2008. Summers were filled with touring and TV seasons kept him on set. He believed that routine of performing night after night helped him prepare for the long hours of Blue Bloods. His devoted fan base, the Blockheads, later played a huge part in the push to save the show when cancellation talk began. Then there was Len Cariou, who played Henry Reagan. Viewers saw him as the family patriarch, yet in real life, he was only 5 years older than Selleck. The show never addressed that detail. Keough, snorts, came from a powerful theater, music, background, even winning a Sweeney Todd Tony Award decades earlier, and he appeared in every one of the show's 293 episodes between ages 70 and 85 with no health issues reported. Jennifer Esposito came into Blue Bloods as Detective Jackie Curatola, the sharp partner standing beside Danny, music, Reagan from the 4th episode all the way into early season 3. And on screen, she felt steady and strong. Off-screen though, her life with the show was getting harder. In October 2011, she shared with the public that she had, music, celiac disease, an illness where even a little gluten can trigger serious reactions. As season 3 began filming in 2012, her doctor told her she needed to cut back and work only 2 or 3 days within the usual 8-day shooting schedule. She tried to keep going anyway and pushed herself until her body just stopped. She collapsed once as she stepped out of a shuttle van, then again in the makeup trailer music, in front of people she worked with every day. What happened next turned, music, a private health struggle into a public fight. CBS put out a neat, careful statement saying that Jennifer had told them she was only available for a very limited part-time schedule, so she could not meet the demands of the role and they had to place her character on leave. That calm wording hit her like a spark. She went on Twitter and let everything out, music, writing in all caps that CBS had put her on unpaid leave and blocked her from working anywhere else after her doctor asked for a reduced schedule because of celiac disease. She reminded everyone that she had collapsed on set and that people had seen it with their own eyes. She did not stop there. She wrote that after a week off, her doctor said she could return, but CBS acted as if she was not really sick and was just trying to pull a trick to get a raise. To her, it felt like bullying, and she called it a very sad day when someone her age could be pushed around while dealing with a real illness. The feud grew hotter when CBS brought in Megan Boone to fill the space beside Danny as his new temporary partner. Jennifer fired off another tweet accusing the network of getting rid of the only minority cast member so they could have what she called an all-white cast, music, like CSI. Soon she was talking about it on Fox News, Music, as well. She said that she was told she was on suspension, still under contract but not being paid. She called that completely illegal, then pointed out that CBS also knew she did not have the money or resources to fight back in court. In Snorts, the show, the fallout arrived in Season 3, Episode 7, titled Nightmares, which aired on November 2, 2012. Jackie was quietly written out with a simple leave of absence, and the character who had once, Music, been central to Danny's world simply vanished from his side. Jennifer refused to let that chapter be the last word on her story. She turned her experience and her illness into music, a different kind of work. She opened Jennifer's Way Bakery in Manhattan, a place built for people who needed gluten-free food and often felt ignored. She wrote a book about her fight with celiac disease that reached the New York Times bestseller list. And she started a nonprofit to teach and guide others who were dealing with the same condition. After all the anger with CBS, Music, life took an unexpected turn. In 2016, she returned to the network as part of the cast of NCIS. Then came an even more surprising moment. In May 2023, she came back to Blue Bloods for the Season 13 finale, this time with Jackie revealed as a police chief. She appeared again in Season 14. Donnie Wahlberg, who plays Danny, welcomed her back with real warmth, saying it was not only fun, but an honor to work with her and calling her one of the best actors alive. Jennifer also spoke kindly of him, telling People TV, Music, that he was one of the best people she had ever worked with and that, Snorts, they always had so much fun together.